Hey, what's good, y'all? Welcome back to another video. And the Houston Rockets have actually traded a future protected second round pick for the Cleveland Cavaliers young star Kevin Porter Jr. And that second round pick is protected top 55 pick, so it's basically nothing. And I just want to know what y'all's thoughts are on the pickup.
I think it's not really a trade that you could look back on and think, oh, we messed up here because what the worst case scenario is Kevin Porter Jr. like acts up or plays trash and you cut him or something, and that's not really a problem because it's not like he was taking a lot of salary or doing anything, and it's not like that pick is going to be like worth anything major anyway. So I think this is a very safe trade. I mean, if the best case scenario is Kevin Porter Jr. does really well at Houston, the worst case scenario is end up cutting him for nothing.
Yeah, to add along to what Prezi said, like there's no really downside at all. He's gonna come, he's produce. Like I don't see him acting up again because this is probably gonna be his last chance. He's pretty young, but like, but for what he did in Cleveland, I don't know. But yeah, I think he's really good in Houston.
Yeah, he's definitely a talented kid. He's 20 years old. Yeah, he does have some issues that obviously is the big what if. But I definitely think that if he gets his head in the game, he has mentors here that can really help him out. Last year was his rookie year. I'm pretty sure he had a 30-point game, a 24-point game against Houston. Like he looked confident in his game. I think the only issues I know that he has is that he takes way too many shots sometimes, or maybe too many dribbles. But, those are things that you can fix. I think overall it's a very good pickup for the Rockets, and hopefully everything goes well.
Yeah, I like Stone is making some really big money moves. I like everything that Raphael Stone has done so far. I've really liked, and I feel like like a change in scenery will do a lot of good for Kevin Porter Jr. And we do have like the type of people that would be good for someone who is dealing with some kind of mental adversity, like John Lucas or a coach of player development, and like people like John Wall and Christian Wood who have had similar like adversities in their life, like Wood being undrafted and Wall going through like several injuries and things like that. And so and Kevin Porter Jr. actually said that he models his game after James Harden, and his draft comparison was James Harden. So yeah, I'm really excited to see him play. And how do you think he'll mesh in with with the team currently?
I feel like when he comes in, he's probably gonna get maybe around like 12 minutes at first, just to get him used to like the scenery, and maybe like in the second half of the season, he's probably gonna be a starter. See what he got, and then from there, base him off of that. See what we do with him in the summer. Keep him or what we do.
I think the first thing is figuring out, is he going to get his off-court actions under control. I think that's the first thing that we're going to have to look at. And then after that is when you start to look at, what is his role going to be on the team? How many minutes is he going to play? Is he going to start? Is he going to come off the bench and all that? So first gets first thing though is looking at, you know, is his off-court actions going to keep him off the court? Is it going to keep him on the team even?
Yeah, I agree with President on that one. It's his off-court actions going to be resolved first. Is his head in the NBA? Is his head with the Rockets? It seems as if it is. These past few days, he actually already embracing the Houston Rockets. He has the H Town in his logo in his bio on Instagram. Um, to me, he looks, or at least I would hope that he is ready for change. He's awake now. His eyes open. He knows that this might be his last chance. So hopefully he can get that resolved. And maybe if we trade Vic by the All Star break, maybe he'll get a chance to start. But if not, I don't really see him getting as many minutes as Vic or Wall. He's still pretty young, but I do see some potential in him.
I think this could also open up a trade for Eric Gordon. Maybe see what we could get for him to open up more minutes for Gordon.
Yeah, definitely. Like the way this team is going, where we're playing the games really competitively, but ending up losing, seems like we may be on the path to tanking as much as we don't want that to be. But our pick is top four protected, so so there is a possibility we do end up as one of the bottom four teams of the NBA. And I also forgot to mention Silas is also going to play a huge role in developing Kevin Porter Jr. I think he's only 20, and so that would be huge. Luca really complimented Silas on developing him into the player that he is today. And I also forgot to mention that along with the trade, the Houston Rockets had to cut Chris Clemens, and that's really unfortunate. Season-ending injury with Achilles. So prayers to him, and hope he makes it out and gets a roster spot soon. And yeah, so yeah, the future plans. Do y'all think that this team, where it's headed, like where do y'all think this team is headed in the future? After the huge James Harden trade, after the recent acquisitions, where do you think the team's headed at?
I feel like for this year, we're definitely going to tank. We're not going to be anywhere near playoffs. Probably going to be like a bottom, maybe 4, 5, 6 team. And then next year, I feel like it's going to be kind of the same. Like, we're going to use our draft pick this year, probably get maybe Cade Cunningham or one of those kind of players. Next season, probably be maybe a little bit better than this year, but still going to be tank. And then after that, I think in 2 years, then we'll really start being competitive again. All the young players will really mesh in, get the chemistry right, get everything. Then from there, probably start being competitive again, see what happens.
I think that this year, I think there's still a good chance that we could, like, as said earlier, we could tank, we could get that top 4 pick, and if we do, that's gonna be probably the best case scenario for the franchise. You get, one of these great stars in a really good draft class. You could get Cade Cunningham, you could get Kuminga, you could get Jalen Green, you could get any of those guys. But if you can't, and I think that might be the more likely outcomes, especially since you got a team with John Wall, Oladipo, Christian Wood. I think that next year is probably going to be the year that you look for, and even next year you got some really really good players. I think that's the Amani Bates draft class too. So I think either way, I think Houston has a bright future, and just a matter of, are you going to tank this year or are you going to tank next year?
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't think any Rockets fan wants to hear that. Oh, we're going to tank this year, but just the way the season has started, we're 4-9. We haven't had a full roster yet, due to injuries or COVID or whatever. It's not looking very promising, but it is. They are playing very competitive each and every game, which is very fun to watch. I personally have been having a lot of fun watching them mesh together, watching them learn, like just watching the chemistry build. But yeah, if we do get that top 4 pick, I would be very excited for that. And next year we would definitely be more set than we are this year.
Yeah, and we have like a really, our team used to be like one of the oldest teams out there, and now it's like one of the youngest. And I feel like next season, I'm afraid to say that we're not gonna have John Wall there. Probably he's 31 currently, and he still has some knee problems. Which I love John Wall actually. Like he's such a great player, such a great leader. But I don't think I think if we find a way to trade him, I think Stone mentioned that in the Harden trade we got a trade exception, which makes it easier to trade things. So maybe John will be traded, Boogie will be traded, Victor Oladipo traded, PJ Tucker traded, Eric Gordon traded, and that leaves like a young core of like just with the players of like Mason Jones, Jayshawn Tate, Kevin Porter Jr. if he ends up working out for us, Christian Wood. Am I missing anyone else? Oh, KJ Martin. That's if they develop well. But yeah, what do y'all think about like like that future group?
It's a whole new era. It's good for time for change. Move on from the Harden era, create a new era, see what happens. Create a new culture, change the culture shift. Yeah.
Fortunately, the Harden era wasn't able to work out. So we really just have to move on. We can wish Harden the best. We can sit here and think about all the memories we had, but yeah, it is a new era. It's Christian Wood, Steven Silas. We're looking forward to new basketball, more winning, maybe getting further in the playoffs. Hopefully, we can get to the finals in 4 or 5 years. I'm I'm excited. I really am. I see potential. I don't want to get too hyped. I don't want to put too much on them, but I definitely see this team going somewhere. I do.
Yeah, obviously, being having James Harden, that stuff was fun. But I mean, he moved on. I mean, we weren't able to get what we wanted with him. You know, that finals appearance, that championship. But I think with what we've got, even right now, with guys like Tate, Jones, Christian Wood, obviously, and of all the other guys that we've got either traded for, signed, or drafted, Houston got a bright future, man. And of course, with all the picks that came in that James Harden trade, and of course, future draft picks that we're going to trade, or we're going to get, obviously, when you deal John Wall, when you deal Victor Oladipo, and all the other guys, I think that this Houston Rockets team has a bright future. You know, regardless of if you get Cade Cunningham or Monty Bates or Jalen Green or something like that in the draft, or even if you don't, you still got Christian Wood is going to be a future star. You still got players like Jayshawn Tate, Mason Jones, who are showing promise. And, of course, you got all those draft picks. Who knows what they're going to be like. And Houston has genuinely been one of the better teams as far as scouting goes, so I'm not really concerned about this team's future. I think we're going to do well in the upcoming years.
And for all
And
we know,
oh yeah, go ahead.
for all we know, we could trade all those draft picks, or not all of them, but like trade some of them to a future superstar, like a young
Definitely.
developing superstar.
Yeah, and with that being said, the future of the Rockets is very bright. Just hold on to hope, y'all, and things are looking up for the Rockets. Maybe not this season, but for the future seasons, definitely. And any final thoughts, y'all, before we wrap up the video? All right, thank y'all for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications. Let us know how you feel about the Kevin Porter Jr. Acquisition, and thank y'all for watching. Peace.
For this life I cannot change. Hit it, keep on feeling.